G'day guys, just a quick little video here on just some simple information on how fat loss works. It can be very confusing. There's so much information out there that makes it very hard to understand how fat loss works and how we want to, whether it's trying to lose weight or whatever. It's confusing. So there's a really simple way to understand it and attack it. First thing to think about is, or understand, is that it takes time. The thought that fat loss can just happen quickly, you know, we see it through advertising and that it could be a month or 30 days or whatever. It's kind of a myth. It's very hard to do that. And even when we do that, it is very unsustainable because we do methods that we're not able to do for a long time. So once that month is over, we kind of crash and then we just revert back to old habits. So what we want to be doing is working on habitual change. Yes, changing things bit by bit, understanding that the process is a long thing. Let's just say that maybe it took you 4 years to gain weight. Let's say you might have put on 40 kilos that you didn't want to put on, and it took 4 years to do so. We need to be of the understanding that to lose that, you can't just click your fingers and that happens. It could be 1 year, it could be 2 years. It's got to be a bit of a journey, and it's something that you have to accept and understand right from the beginning. The mistake that we often do is get into these yo-yos or try lots of different things or different fads, and then it ends up taking 4, 5, 6, 10 years because we try something and then revert and then try something and then revert. What we should do is just the slow, steady thing from in the first place. All right, so this is how it works. We've got 3 variables. We have our NEAT, our EAT, and our diet. Most of these things sound like they relate to food. Only this one does. So our NEAT refers to our non-sort of intended exercise activity thermogenesis. So non-exercise activity thermogenesis is what it's called. What it refers to is just the daily movement that you do that's not your intended workout or gym or fitness or sport. So, you know, walking to and from the shops, you know, cleaning the house, doing all those things like that. One of the best ways that we like to measure that is like on a watch or a phone, measuring your daily steps. That's an easy way to do it. This is the ultimate way to burn energy. Okay, even more so than the gym, and we'll get to that in a moment. This is the best way because it's low impact, it's sustainable, it doesn't exhaust you, it's just moving more. So if you're generally a fairly sedentary person, whether it's through your job or you're just lazy, we want to sort of move that little bit more. So let's say right now you maybe do 2,000 steps a day. Something sustainable for you would be to try and bump that up to 3,000 or 5,000 or eventually 10,000. Cool? Quickly on that. Next one, EAT, is our exercise activity thermogenesis, so our intended exercise, so our sport, whether it's here or tennis or running or football or whatever it is. It's the thing that you intend to do most days. That burns a significant amount of energy, but it's only a short period of time. Okay, it's harder to sustain because it exhausts us, it's more impact on the body, it's what makes us sore. This contributes to a large percentage of our energy expended. This contributes to a small amount. So as much as going to the gym and that is important, it shouldn't be our primary exercise for fat loss. It should be our hobby, our bit of fun, entertainment, our challenge, our fitness. Yeah, that should be the main goal of it. The fat loss that occurs due to your intended exercise should be a byproduct. The last one here is diet, or your food intake. Okay. So this is what we are bringing into our body. Obviously, the better that we eat, the more balanced that we eat, the better results we're going to get. But once again, sustainability is important. So if right now your diet is horrendous, you don't measure anything, you don't know how much you're getting in or whatever, if you jump from that to the perfect macro written in blah, blah, blah diet, you're not that likely to sustain it. So our original goal here would be to just improve it a bit. So say you have takeaway 4 times a week, let's cut that back down to 2. Say you don't get enough protein in your diet, let's just include more protein in our diet, okay? And we go bit by bit, all right? Before we go into too much more depth, the way this works is we've got 2 that expend energy, we've got 1 that is food in, okay? So if we need to burn fat, we can work on these 3 variables. So say they're all relatively even here and I want to burn fat, I can change these variables by, say, increasing my NEAT. Let's say my EAT, my gym, is very low. I might increase that a little bit. And let's say if my food is junky and terrible, I can decrease that a little bit, okay? We can play around with those variables. Let's say, for example, you're someone who does already maybe do 10,000 steps a day, does train at the gym 4 or 5 times a week. Those things are already quite high. And if you're not burning much fat, it would mean that the diet is high and we need to reduce the calorie or the content of that diet. All right, I hope that makes good sense. Often we try train more, when what we need to do is probably just reduce the intake. And once again, it probably might not need to be drastic. Okay, a good way to figure this out is to get like a MyFitnessPal app or a MyNet Diary app and actually do a little bit of data collection. Yeah, sometimes people are a bit scared of using an app to record food, but it's a very good way to collect some data and get a better understanding of what you're eating. Yeah, sometimes you might think, okay, I'm eating a good amount, I'm eating really healthy. Turns out you're eating a significantly high amount of calories and lacking protein and all these sorts of things. With just minimal change, non-drastic change, we can get that diet down a little bit, which will sustain both the exercise that you're doing, but also help contribute to burning fat. Okay? Sometimes we're at the other end of the spectrum. We eat minimal, but we also train minimal as well, and then we end up getting not much change once again. We might want to just increase our NEAT a little bit, which will help sort of get things moving, okay? Often in the beginner stage, we just move one variable at a time. The last thing we'll say in that is try not to change everything at once and try not to change everything too frequently. So if I try whatever I've decided to do for a week and go, oh, not much is changing, we don't change things again, okay? We need to give it time. We need to give it a few weeks, give it a month to see those changes happen. After a month, if things are working, sweet, keep doing what we're doing. Maybe after a month, if there's not much change happening, we go, okay, well, maybe I need to increase my NEAT, or maybe I need to decrease my calorie intake, or so on, all right? Things that we can chat to you guys as well. I hope that is a good, not too complex, crazy example of understanding how fat loss works. If you want more understanding and questions, come reach out to us.